thought a doodlebug was an addiction to drawing. Craig Charles.
Now, take my mother. I love her, because she's a full-on scouser. In fact, she was the only woman ever to get nicked for shoplifting on supermarket sweep. But that doesn't mean that we don't fight. And it's the same with my wife. Vicky didn't marry us, we had to find a referee. But the point is, fighting's not always about hatred. And here on Robot Wars, all our competing robots are part of one big, happy family. Exactly, it's going to be carnage. Let's find out who's feuding for the bruising this week.
On today's card, Craig, old friends like the Dark Destroyer 2, the number 29 seeds Dreadnought XP1 in their fourth wars, and newcomers Warhog, but in the first battle, the number 13 seeds Gravedigger against veterans Thermidor 2, and the new boys, Kronic the Wedgehog.
It's the melees and time to meet the contenders. Here we have Kronic the Wedgehog working hard. We've got Sinclair C5 motors in there, which are quite powerful compared to other roboteers, so that should give you a bit of speed. We're a bit worried about the polycarbonate casing because it's flexible and should be easily pierced. Beware, guys. Flipper, pneumatic flipper, axis at the back, piercer at the back, and flower pots. Why?
Well, we actually built it in a greenhouse, so we thought we'd use flower pots on top.
For the spirit of
keep with the image.
Yeah, looking good, guys. Ooh, a lobster. Thermidor 2. I hate lobster Thermidor. Wheels from a mini Metro, I believe. They got to go back?
No.
And what happened when you let this loose in your house? I hear it got a bit out of control.
It did. We were testing the controls out in the kitchen. Probably not the best place to try it in hindsight. It got away from us, put a really large dent in the radiator. So a little job probably later.
More work.
I know.
Good luck, team. And the Gravedigger. We've seen them in the last wars. They are back. This is a really phenomenal robot. Now, this arm here exerts 2 tons of pressure from the base, which is 2 heavy cars, 2 escorts. And it's not actually just the pressure of the arm that's the important thing, is it? It's the speed. Now, you've had to make a change in the last 2 days because the speed of the arm was so great.
That's right. We operated the weapon and it was on a full gas charge, and the arm moved so fast that it actually bent under its own weight.
So it hit something and carried on sort of bending round the obstacle?
That's right, yes. It bent from here and the top half of the arm bent over.
And you can see the OXO tin here. All the main circuitry in that robot is in that little OXO tin.
Time to unleash the dogs of war. And boy, are they rabid. Hey, 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 let the wars begin!
Seaton in Devon, Kronic the Wedgehog.
A first-time entry to the wars, a pneumatic flipper and spike provide the weapons. It has that polycarbonate shell, a top speed of 10 miles an hour. It's not Sonic, but Kronic is not moronic, so beware.
Hi, my name is Dave Blank from Team Kronic. This is our robot, Kronic the Wedgehog. It's powered by 2 Sinclair C5 motors. It has a pneumatic front flipper and a pneumatic spike on the back, which fires out about that far. Hopefully we should do some damage there.
From Norwich, the number 13 seed, Gravedigger.
Reached the semi-finals of the last wars. It has an aluminium-plated shell. It's driven by 2 750-watt, 1-horsepower motors. It has a hydraulic ramming arm capable of sinking any opponent 6 feet under. Many a roboteer met the grisly grin of the Gravedigger last time around. Manic Mutant and then Mortis surprisingly put in the pit. Next up was the Dark Destroyer, but in the series semi-finals, Stegosaurus proved too good for Gravedigger.
Gravedigger team. This is Jonathan, our team captain. This is Owen, he's the artist and weapons operator. Jonathan's the driver. Gravedigger, you can see it's a wedge-shaped robot. It works off a 2-ton hydraulic ram working an arm, and the arm's worked off a CO2 gas cylinder. The main drive is 2 electric motors, and they drive 2 go-kart wheels.
From Norwich, Thermidor 2.
Got broiled in the last wars when the claws couldn't get to grips. The shell's aluminium, power comes from 2 750-watt industrial electric motors, but I fear this might just become a prawn in the game for the more powerful. Last time around, they won their first battle against Blunderstorm fairly easily. But then when matched with Scutter's Revenge, didn't have enough power and ended up in the pit.
Hi, we're Team Lobster. My name's David, this is Ian, this is Eli. This is our robot Thermidor 2. We've got really grippy tyres, powerful claws, powerful flipper, and this war we're going to win.
Roboteers, stand by.
Kronic the Wedgehog, father and son, John and Dave Lang, Mike Gardner in there as well. Thermidor 2, David Harding, Ian Harvey and Eli Kirkpatrick. And Gravedigger, another father and son team, John Chaplin, Dave Chaplin, Owen Ramsey.
2, 1, activate.
And at the moment, the Wedgehog on the attack on the Lobster. Thermidor 2 rose to the occasion. Kronic the Wedgehog, buffeted by Gravedigger, the seeded robot in this Eliminator, seeded 13, and pushing in again on the back of the Wedgehog, smashing Thermidor 2 against the arena wall. Lifting underneath Thermidor 2 now is Kronic the Wedgehog with that front flipper, it's pneumatic. Thermidor 2 scuttling away into the deep recesses of the Robot Wars pool to come again. Flipping up on the front of Kronic the Wedgehog. You can see the sparks from the side of the arena, smoke as well. There's the descending pit, you don't want to stay there too long, Kronic. Gravedigger, classic wedge shape with again the hydraulic ram operating arm, very dangerous Gravedigger. Get off that arena flipper, Kronic. Thermidor backs away. Look at the claws, ready to close in. This is a good battle, isn't it? Very, very level so far. Good aggression from all three. In comes Thermidor again, clacking the pincers together. Kronic's been aggressive, but I think Gravedigger has a problem with that weapon. We heard beforehand they had to readjust it, and I don't think the operating arm is operating. Thermidor 2. Oh, one of the claws is gone! Bent back and buckled, and now hangs limp, does it? One of those claws on the front of the Thermidor. Kronic the Wedgehog is the surprise here from Seaton in Devon, powered by the two C5 motors. And Gravedigger's on its side! Gravedigger, the seeded robot, in major, major trouble. Here was Thermidor doing the damage. Thermidor 2 got in with the flipper at the front of the Lobster. Underneath and up and over she goes. Well, Gravedigger could be in a coffin here. And they're digging deep the grave for the digger. And in comes Killalot, a massive 280 kilos. Moving slowly, only 1.8 meters a second, Killalot, but when he moves slowly, he moves inexorably. Oh! Gravedigger spun away! Comes back to life now, it would seem, but I think it's too late. I think it was immobilised too long. We'll wait and see. It's trundling around the arena floor there, look. But I think the judges will have noted that it was immobilised for too long. We'll wait to hear from Craig, but that was some battle.
Gravedigger back to the cemetery. Kronic the Wedgehog and Thermidor 2, they go through.
This is a major upset. What happened? You were on your side. Why didn't you use your arm to get yourself out of it?
Just wouldn't work. Just wouldn't work. Yesterday, worked fine. Today, when it was needed, nothing.
We were excited about that arm.
So are we, but it just wouldn't work in the end. It all works now, but just wouldn't work when it was needed.
And you were seeded as well. What number?
Number 13.
Unlucky for Sam, eh?
Yes, sir. Never mind. Thermidor 2 and Kronic the Wedgehog won't. That's for certain. Next up, Warhog, Dark Destroyer 2 and the seeded Dreadnought XP1.